Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Al Munir High School e-learning system, class 10. This is your chemistry lecture, and today we are going to discuss unit number 3. This is title page of your chemistry book for class 10. Yes, chapter number 11 is about the organic chemistry. So in this chapter we are going to learn about organic chemistry. First of all, look at the introduction of organic chemistry. Initially, before 1828, the name organic chemistry was given to the chemistry of compounds that we obtain from plants and animals. Because the word organic signifies life. Lavoisier, who was scientist who showed that compounds obtained from plants were often made of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen elements, while compounds obtained from animals contain elements like carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen, etc. In early 19th century, Swedish chemist whose name was Jacob put forward the vital force theory. What was the vital force theory? According to this theory, organic compounds could not be prepared in laboratories. इस थ्योरी के मुताबिक ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स को लेबोरेटरीज में तैयार नहीं किया जा सकता था because they were supposed to be synthesized under the influence of mysterious force, and we call it vital force. So the vital force theory suffered death blow in 1828. 1828 में vital force theory उस वक्त खत्म हो गई when Waller, who was chemist, synthesized the first organic compound, that is urea. Look here, it is urea, the first organic compound from inorganic substance by heating ammonium cyanate. जब उसने अमोनियम साइनाइड को हीट अप किया, which is a inorganic substance, he get the first organic compound urea. So later on, vital force theory was further negated by Kolbe. आगे जाके vital force theory को किसने negate किया? Kolbe ने in 1845 when he prepared the acetic acid in the laboratory. Now organic compounds we include carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, enzymes, vitamins, drugs, pharmaceutical products, fertilizers, pesticides, all are the organic compounds. So here we have the definition of organic compounds. Today there are about 10 millions of organic compounds and thousands of new organic compounds are being prepared every year. So a detailed investigation of organic compounds revealed that अगर हमने इसकी डिटेल में देखें organic compounds को, all of them contain covalent bonded carbon and hydrogen as their essential constituent. तो जितने भी organic compounds हैं उन सब में कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन की कोवलेंट बॉन्डिंग मौजूद है जो एक उसका ज़रूरी हिस्सा है. Hence here we have the definition. Organic compounds are hydrocarbons. Organic compounds क्या हैं? Hydrocarbons हैं. Compounds, they are the compounds of carbon and hydrogen and their derivatives in which covalently bonded carbon is an essential constituent. So the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of hydrocarbons and their derivatives is known as organic chemistry. Though the oxides of carbon like carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, carbonates, bicarbonates and carbides are also carbon compounds, but they are not treated as organic compounds. We know that we have also some oxides of carbon, but they are not treated as organic compounds because what is the reason? Their properties are quite different from those of organic compounds. So here we have two types of formula of organic compounds. First of all, look at the molecular formula. What is molecular formula? This is the formula, type of formula which represents the actual number of atoms in one molecule of the organic compound, and it is called the molecular formula. So molecular formula for butane is C4H10. It shows butane is made up of carbon and hydrogen atoms. C and H shows the carbon and hydrogen. Each molecule of butane can consist of 4 atoms of carbon, and this 10 shows that 10 atoms of hydrogen. Next type is structure formula. Structure formula of a compound represents the exact arrangement of the different atoms. So look here. Here we have the example of structure formula. We have the exact arrangement of the different atoms of various elements. So if we take the example here of N-butane, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 atoms of carbon. Yes, and now count the atoms of the hydrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 atoms of hydrogen. So organic compounds may have same molecular formula but different structure formula. So here we have the formula of butane, which is C4H10. So we can represent it with some structure. So the structure can be straight chain or branch chain. In a structure formula, single bond is represented by this symbol and double bonding has been represented by 2 lines and triple bonding has been represented by the 3 lines. Next, we have the condensed formula, the formula that indicates the group of atoms joined together to each carbon atom in a straight chain or branch chain is called the condensed formula. So here, look here we have the condensed formulas of N-butane and isobutane. So the formula that indicates the group of atoms joined together to each carbon atom. So here we have the atoms that are joined together to each carbon atom in a straight line, and this is called the branch chain. Next, we have the electronic or dot and cross formula. The formula which shows the sharing of electrons between various atoms is in one molecule of the organic compound is called dot and cross formula or electronic formula. So here instead of the bonding lines we use the dot and cross, and this formula shows the sharing of electrons between various atoms. So this is a structure which shows the different formulae of organic compounds, molecular formula, condensed formula, structural formula and electronic formulas. Each formula shows the different properties. Next we have this full-fledged table on page number 55. It shows different organic compounds like methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane and their molecular formulas. CH4, C2H6, C38H8 and so on. Here we have the condensed formulas of methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, and in the last we have their structure formulas. You have to learn and remember all these names and their formulas. Next we have the classification of organic compounds. Yes, all known organic compounds have been broadly divided into how many categories? 2 categories. One is open chain or acyclic compounds, other one is closed chain or cyclic compounds. So what are the open chain or acyclic compounds? Open chain compounds are those in which the end carbon atoms are not joined with each other. So in this way they form a long chain. Look here we have the example in which the end of each carbon atom are not joined with each other. In this way they form a long chain. So these chains may be either straight or branch chain. So here we have the straight chain compounds are those in which carbon atoms link with each other through a single line. Look here we have the single line or single, double or triple bonds forming a straight chain. Next we have the branch chain compounds are those in which there is a branch. So here we have the branches. So it is called the branch chain compounds. Next, closed chain or cyclic compounds. Closed chain or cyclic compounds are those in which the carbon atoms at the end of the chain are not free. They are linked to form a ring. They are further divided into 2 classes, homocyclic or carbocyclic compounds. Homocyclic compounds are also called the carbocyclic compounds. Homocyclic और carbocyclic compounds contain rings. ये rings बनाती हैं, इनमें carbon atoms एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़े हुए होते हैं in the form of a ring. which are made up of only one kind of atoms, carbon atoms. So these are further divided into two classes, aromatic compounds and alicyclic compounds. On the next page, we have the aromatic compounds. What are the aromatic compounds? These organic compounds contain at least one benzene ring. So this is the benzene ring, and a benzene ring is made up of 6 carbon atoms. Look here. Here we have the 6 lines. So a benzene ring is made up of 6 carbon atoms with 3 alternating double bonds. So in benzene ring we have 3 alternating double bonds. They are called the aromatic because aroma or some smell they have. So here we have the examples of benzene and naphthalene. They are also called the benzonide compounds. Next type is alicyclic or non-benzoid compounds. कार्बोसाइक्लिक कंपाउंड्स विच डू नॉट हैव बेंजीन रिंग, ऐसे कार्बोसाइक्लिक कंपाउंड जिनमें बेंजीन रिंग नहीं होती in their molecules, they are called the alicyclic or non-benzonaid compounds. So here we have the example of cyclobutane and cyclohexane. So here we don't have the benzene ring. Next type is heterocyclic compounds. Cyclic compounds that contain one or more atoms other than that of carbon atoms in their rings are called heterocyclic compounds. So cyclic compounds that contain one or more atoms other than that of carbon, कार्बन के अलावा कोई भी और एटम्स उसमें मौजूद हों, वो हेटेरोसाइक्लिक कंपाउंड्स कहलाते हैं. Next, we have this structure. This structure shows the whole classification of organic compounds. So we have two types of organic compounds: open chain compounds. Open chain are further divided into straight chain compounds and branch chain compound. And then we have the cyclic compounds. Cyclic compounds are further divided into homocyclic compounds and heterocyclic compounds. Homocyclic compounds are further divided into alicyclic compounds and aromatic compounds. Our next topic is about the diversity and magnitude of organic compounds. There are total of 118 elements known today. Yes, we know that. We have studied in our previous class that till now we have 118 elements known. Today, the number of organic compounds, carbon compounds, is more than 10 million. जबकि organic compounds अब तक 10 million से भी ज़्यादा हम लोग उनके बारे में जान चुके हैं. This number is far more than the number of compounds of all the remaining elements taken together. So the existence of such a large number of organic compounds is due to the following reasons. So here we have the reasons for the diversity and magnitude of organic compounds. So first of all, the first reason is catenation. What is catenation? The main reason for the existence of a large number of organic compounds is that, so what is the reason? Reason is that carbon atoms can link with one another by means of covalent bonds and form long chains or rings of carbon atoms. क्योंकि कार्बन एटम्स आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ लिंक करके मिलकर लंबी लंबी चेन्स बनाते हैं और रिंग्स फॉर्म करते हैं. सो द चेन्स that can be straight or branch. So the ability of carbon atoms to link with each other, कार्बन एटम्स की ये एबिलिटी कि वो एक दूसरे के साथ लिंक करके चेन्स और रिंग्स बनाते हैं, it is called the catenation. So two basic conditions for an element to exhibit catenation. One reason is that element should have valency 2 or greater than 2. एलिमेंट की कितनी वैलेंसी होनी चाहिए कैटिनेशन को शो करने के लिए? 2 या 2 से ज़्यादा. नंबर 2, bonds made by an element with its own atoms should be greater than the bonds made by the element with other atoms, especially oxygen. So here we have the example. Both silicon and carbon have similar electronic configurations, but carbon shows catenation whereas silicon does not show. It is mainly due to the reason that carbon bonds are much stronger. They have energy 355 kilojoules mole than silicon 200 joules mole bonds. On the other hand, silicon oxygen bonds are much stronger. than the carbon-oxygen bonds. Hence, silicon occurs in the form of silica and silicates in nature. Next, we have the property of isomerism. So, another reason for the abundance of carbon at organic compounds is the phenomenon of isomerism. What are the isomerism? The compounds are said to be isomers if they have the same molecular formula but different arrangement of atoms in their molecules or different structure formula. So if the compounds are said to be isomers if they have the same molecular formula but different arrangement of atoms. Look here we have the examples of isomerism. Isomerism also adds to the possible number of structures. So the molecular formula C5H12 can be represented by the three structures. So here molecular formula remains same. At number of atoms of carbon, number of atoms of hydrogen will remain same, but it shows the different structures. N-pentane, isopentane and neopentane are the structures or structure formulas of C5H12 pentane. Number of isomers increases with the increase in number of carbon atoms in the given molecular formula. Next is strength of covalent bonds of carbon. Due to its very small size, carbon can form very strong covalent bonds with other carbon atoms, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and halogens. So because of its small size, carbon can form very strong covalent bonds. This enables it to form a large number of compounds. Number 4, multiple bonding. In order to satisfy its tetravalency, carbon can make multiple bonds, double and triple bonds. This further adds to the possible number of structures. For example, two carbons in ethane are linked by a single covalent bond, by a double covalent bond in ethylene, and triple covalent bond in acetylene. So triple bonding is also the reason for the greater number of organic compounds. Next, we have some general characteristics of organic compounds. Origin: naturally occurring organic compounds are obtained from plants and animals, and inorganic compounds are obtained from minerals and rocks. Number 2 property is composition. Carbon is an essential constituent of all organic compounds. They are made of few elements such as carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, halogen and sulfur. On the other hand, inorganic compounds are made up of almost all the elements of the periodic table except carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Next characteristic is covalent linkage. Organic compounds contain covalent bonds which may be polar and non-polar, and on the other hand inorganic compounds mostly contain ionic bonds. Number 4 characteristic is solubility. Organic compounds having non-polar linkages are generally soluble in organic solvents. ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स उनमें नॉन पोलर लिंकेज होने की वजह से वो सॉल्युबल होते हैं ऑर्गेनिक सॉल्वेंट्स में, जैसे कि अल्कोहल, ईथर, बेंजीन, कार्बन डाइसल्फाइड. एंड इनऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स बिकॉज ऑफ ionic bonding between them are soluble in polar solvents like water. Electrical conductivity: due to the presence of covalent bonds, organic compounds are poor conductors of electricity, and inorganic compounds being ionic in nature are good conductors of electricity. If we talk about the melting and boiling points, generally organic compounds have low melting and boiling points and they are volatile in nature, and on the other hand inorganic compounds have comparatively high melting and boiling points. Stability: since organic compounds have low melting and boiling points, they are less stable than inorganic compounds. Combustibility: organic compounds with a high percentage of carbon are generally combustible. On the other hand, inorganic compounds are mostly non-combustible. Isomerism: a main characteristic of organic compounds which differentiate them from inorganic substances is their tendency to exhibit the phenomena of isomerism. Isomerism is rare in organic substance. Next, we have the characteristic of rate of reaction. Due to the presence of covalent linkage, the reactions of organic compounds are molecular in nature. They are often slow and require specific conditions such as temperature, pressure, and catalyst. Our next topic is about the sources of organic compounds. Organic compounds are prepared naturally by animals and plants. Animals synthesize two main groups of organic compounds: proteins and fats. Proteins are meat, mutton, chicken, and eggs. Fats are present in milk, butter. Plants synthesize carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and vitamins. Moreover, dead plants buried under earth crust are converted through biochemical processes to coal, petroleum, and gas. These materials are the main sources of organic compounds. We can get thousands of organic compounds by the destructive distillation of coal and fractional distillation of petroleum. So all these are the different sources of organic compounds. Here we have the detailed structure of sources of organic compounds. Yes, we obtain organic compounds from animals and plants. From animals we get proteins, fats, and oils. From plants we get the organic compounds from live plants or from dead plants. So we get proteins from eggs, mutton, chicken, beef, and fish. We get fats and oils from milk, butter, and cheese. And we get the organic compounds from the live plants also in the form of carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and oils, and from the dead plants in the form of coal, petroleum, and gas. What is coal? Coal is a blackish complex mixture of compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. It also contains small amounts of nitrogen and sulfur compounds. So coal was formed by the decomposition of dead plants. कोयला कोल कैसे बनता है? Decomposition से बनता है dead plants के that buried under the earth crust millions of years ago. So conversion of wood into coal is called the carbonization. It is a very slow biochemical process. It takes place in the absence of air, under high pressure and high temperature over a long period of time, about 500 million years. So it is a extremely long time. Wood contains about 40% of carbon. So depending upon the extent of carbonization process, 4 types of coal are found. These types differ with respect to their carbon content. So here on the next page we have the 4 types of carbon. So this table and picture shows the 4 types of carbon. Number 1 is peat. Peat contains 60% of carbon. It is of inferior quality. Lignite, it contains 70% of carbon and it is soft coal which used in thermal power stations. Bituminous contains 80% of carbon and it is that type of coal we used it in a household purposes. Anthracite contains 90% of carbon and it is of superior quality. Next, coal has become a major source of organic compounds. कोल जो है एक मेजर सोर्स है ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड को हासिल करने का because of destructive distillation. It is a process in which the strong heating of coal in the absence of air occurs. It is called destructive distillation. As we know, coal contains elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. So destructive distillation of coal provides a large number of other organic compounds. For example, number 1, coal gas, which is a mixture of hydrogen, methane gas, and carbon monoxide. It produces heat when burned in air. जब भी इसको हवा में हम जलाते हैं जो बहुत ज़्यादा हीट प्रोड्यूस करता है. It is mainly used as a fuel के तौर पे यूज होता है इंडस्ट्रीज में. It is also used to provide an inert or reducing atmosphere in various meteorological processes. Next is ammonical liquor. It is a solution of ammonia gas in water. It is used to prepare nitrogenous fertilizers. For example, when it is treated with sulfuric acid, it produces ammonium sulfate like fertilizer. Next is coal tar. It is a thick black liquid, it is a mixture of more than 200 different organic compounds. So coal tar is a thick black liquid and it is a mixture of 200 different organic compounds in which mostly are aromatic. These compounds are separated by fractional distillation process. Some of the important aromatic compounds are benzene, phenol, toluene, aniline. These compounds are used to synthesize, क्या बनाने के लिए इस्तेमाल होते हैं? Used to synthesize drugs, dyes, explosive, paints, varnishes, plastics, synthetic fiber and pesticides. Beside these valuable chemicals, the black residue of the carbon tar is called the pitch, which is used for surfacing of roads and roof. Next we have the coke. Coke is 90% carbon. It is left behind residue of coal. When coal is subjected to the destructive distillation process, so it loses all of its volatile components and leaves behind a solid residue. We call it coke. It is mainly used as the fuel. Next we have the petroleum. Yes, it is the petrol which we used in our vehicles. So petroleum is a dark brownish or greenish black colored viscous liquid. It is a complex mixture of several solid, liquid or gaseous hydrocarbons in water mixed with salts and earth particles. Petroleum is the main source of organic compounds. It consists of several compounds, mainly hydrocarbons. So after reading this, we come to the point that petroleum is the main source of organic compounds and it consists of several compounds of hydrocarbons. These compounds are separated. हम इन compounds को कैसे अलग अलग कर सकते हैं? Through fractional distillation process. So what is fractional distillation process? It is a separation of fractions or components depending upon their boiling point or ranges. These fractions and their uses are provided in table 16.1 in our chapter number 16. Next we have the natural gas. Yes, it is a mixture of low molecular mass hydrocarbons. The main component is methane gas, which is 80%, along with other gases like ethane, propane and butane. So next, therefore it is found with their deposits as shown in figure 11.3. Look here we have this earth crust, shell here, imperious rocks, then inside the ground we have gas, petroleum and imperious rocks. So therefore it is found with their deposits as shown in figure 11.3. Natural gas is used as fuel in homes as well as in industries. It is also used as fuel in automobiles and compressed CNG, compressed natural gas. Plants. Living plants synthesize macromolecules, carbohydrates, proteins, oils and vitamins. The basic unit of all types of carbohydrates is glucose, which is synthesized by plants through photosynthesis. So students, glucose then further polymerizes to form the sucrose, starch and cellulose. Proteins are also found in the pulses and beans. Oils are found in seeds of plants and vitamins are found in the fruits, apples and citrus fruits. Synthesizes in laboratory. Yes, I told you in the above above topic about the synthesize in laboratory. Just now he is revising here the same thing which we have studied in the introduction. Just about 200 years ago, it was considered that organic compounds could be synthesized only by plants and animals because they possess vital force which is very essential for synthesis of organic compounds. But the synthesis of urea in laboratory by F.M. Waller in 1828 opened the discipline on field synthesis of organic compounds in laboratory. So they are present in drugs, medicines, flavors and fragrances, etc. Next we have the uses of organic compounds. No doubt thousands of organic compounds are synthesized naturally by animals and plants, but millions of organic compounds are being prepared in the laboratories by the chemists. So we use organic compounds as food like milk, eggs, meat, vegetables that contain carbohydrates, protein, fats and vitamins. Yes, we used organic compounds as clothing. All types of clothing we wear we use as bed sheets are made up of natural fibers, cotton, silk and wool, and synthetic fibers, nylon, dacron and other materials like acrylic. All these are organic compounds. Yes, we use organic compounds as housing or houses. Wood is cellulose, naturally synthesized organic compound. It is used for making houses and furniture of all kinds. Next, we use organic compounds as fuel in our automobiles and for domestic purposes. These are called the fossil fuels. Petroleum and natural gas, these are called the fossil fuels. We use organic compounds as medicines also. A large number of organic compounds naturally synthesized by plants are used as medicines by us. Most of the life-saving medicines and drugs such as antibiotics are synthesized in laboratories. Yes, we use organic compounds also as raw material. Organic compounds are used to prepare a variety of materials like rubber, paper, ink, drugs, dyes, paints, varnishes, pesticides, etc. So, yes, we have studied the definition of petroleum. We also have studied in the above topic about the types of carbons synthesized by plants, what is the basic unit of carbohydrates and how it is synthesized. CNG stands for, just I just told you in the above topic, our existence owns to organic compounds. You must comment on it. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.